Tammuz is going to be the Hilula of a famous rabbi, Rabbi Ovadia Shaki Z'tl, a very famous rabbi of his time. He was born, reported of it in English, in 1882 and passed away on the 28th of June in the year 1949. Very great rabbi. He'd go on to become a Shluchei Rabbanan, a rabbinic emissary. He'll be a Darshan, a philosopher. He'll be an investigator with regards to history, rabbinic history, and Torah history itself. A historian, a great with regards to Talmud, and especially investigating with regards to the great geniuses, the Gaonim, respectively. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the famous rabbi's life. Now, he was born in the holy city of Tzfat, I think on June the 18th in the year 1882. This happened to be, I think, towards the start of Tammuz. And his father was a famous rabbi, Rabbi Avraham Chai Shaka, who happened to be the author, I think, of Torah, a colossal work called Sha'ar HaKadim. I believe he was also a head of Jewish court and the rabbi of the city. And I believe there was a great family of lines of rabbis in his family, Sephardic, Turkish, let's just say, reported over of many generations before her. I believe his grandfather was Rabbi Raphael Avraham Shaki, who was author of a book called the Shemen Rosh, and I think the great-grandfather of his was Rabbi Ovadia Shaki, who was a head of Jewish court in Kushta in Turkey, and he himself would move to Eretz Israel, to the land of Israel, in the year 1806 and become the rabbi of the city of Tzfat. Now, it's interesting. Rabbi Ovadia would actually learn at a young age under the great rabbis over there. I think especially under Rabbi Yeshua Pelagi. Remember, Pelagi, I believe, in of its own right, was arguably one of the most famous rabbinic dynasties, even not so far as to go to in Turkey, all over the world, without a doubt. Now, he was, I believe, also a French citizen, and come with the outbreak of the First World War, he would have to go to an area called Corsica, I think, which is the fourth largest island in the Mediterranean Sea, and in the region of France, he'd have to go over there. And he was exiled by the Turks at that point in time, so I think he would live in the capital city of Ajaccio. I hope I pronounced it correctly. I think it's the largest city of the Corsica region of France. This happens to be, and he would be there for 5 years. He'd work in the rabbinate there as a rabbi, and during his stay, let's say, he would write various articles in multi-languages, including in French and Hebrew. He was writing about nationalism and Zionism, respectively. And life will progress. I believe, come with the year 1920, he would return to the holy city of Tzfat and will go on to become a Shluchei Rabbanan on behalf of the community over there in Tzfat, the various different religious organizations. He would visit, for example, Morocco for a 3-year tenure. He would use this period to research various different Jewish communities. He summarized, let's just say, all the impressions he got of these different communities in a specific book that he published. He would visit Western Europe. He'd visit the Balkan countries. Also, Syria and Lebanon were among his visit trips, let's just say. I believe one of the times when he moved to the Balkans, he would be part of let's say, a personal mission on behalf of Menachem Usishki, I believe, who was actually working, I think, for the Israel Fund, respectively, and was doing a lot of Zionism work at that point in time. He was very enthusiastic, Zionistic, and he would have various institutions connected to Zionism. He would speak in land of Israel, and abroad in various languages, including in Ladino, Arabic, and French. Now, he would later on return to Tzfat and would devote himself to writing articles and research for Hebrew journals of various newspapers in Israel and all across the world. Especially, he would serve as a member of the committee of the Sephardic rabbis in Tzfat. This would be one of the, let's say, jobs that he would take on. Now, I believe his eyesight weakened towards the end of his life, and there was a siege of Tzfat that actually took place, which would take an effect on him. I'm not so sure the exact date where this actually specifically occurred, respectively, but yeah, obviously this did cause him tsar, pain. He passed away on the 28th of June, I believe in the year 1949. We're talking about here from the time of recording 76 years ago. He was buried in the old cemetery, I think, in Tzfat. His wife was Rabbanit Chana, and she came from the family of Nazlai, I believe. And they would have 3 children, including Esther Sheki Arzi, happened to be also someone great in our field, Margaret Toledano, and Avner Shaki. Now the last one being famous, let's just say having famous roles also in Israeli society. Among them, Avner, his son, I believe was an Israeli politician. He would be a government minister in the late 1980s and early 1990s. He would have various different, let's say, important Knesset roles. He passed away himself, his son, in the year 2005. He was part of, I think, possibly in the 11th Knesset, if I'm not mistaken. He was appointed as minister under Yitzhak Shamir's government, it's reported over, and he was also, I believe, in the 1999 Knesset, he was actually selected. So he was various positions, and he would, I believe, be the chairman of the lobby to promote understanding between religious and secular people. So he was more, let's just say, more on the pluralistic fence, let's just say, trying to build bridges among different people. He would leave granddaughter, for example, Smada Gross, the Rabbi Ovadia would, also he happened to be the son of the Avner Shaki, the politician inside the Knesset, which is also an interesting tidbit. Now, it's interesting. Rabbi Ovadia would actually leave us with a few Torah colossal works, including the Mishlei Emet, which was various mashalim, let's just say parables, in the way of the Ben Sira, let's just say Prakim Ba'avat Ha-Elohim Va'adam. This was various different, let's say, collections and gatherings of philosophy on subjects of religious matters. Yesodot Havaya. This was investigations, let's say, Masuti Bahare Atlas. This was there are various different chapters within regards to his travels and remembrances within regards to his shlichut, where he was maybe a rabbinic emissary at his time. So he was a very great rabbi. He passed away in 1949. Rosh Chodesh Tammuz happens to be the famous Rabbi Hilula. He was, I think, a Talmid also of Rabbi Sheda Levi, if I'm not mistaken. When he was 12 years of age only, he would have to provide for his family, but at the same time, while he was working part-time, he would be really, really engrossed and immersed in halacha, learning the philosophy and the Kebala and the history of the different various periods, which we have to point out. Also, he was very involved with various synagogues, including the Maharai Abu Hab and the synagogue of Rav Alshich. And there was a Beit Midrash named after Rabbi Yitzchak Goethe, I think, in that specific place. He was when he was writing articles in French, he would correspond with people from Central Hebrew Library, I think in various countries, including in Paris. He checked philosophical research, let's just say, and was really had a breadth all round. His period in Morocco was very famous. He was there for 3 years. He would promote his book there, various sermons he would give over there, and much more can be said within regards to him, which I recommend everyone to look into. Let's explore a few of the highlights from his famous book from Rabbi Ovadia Sefer. He really has a very good Sefer, including Melamed Shiyavoshu HaSon'im Et Agedim V'chshu Lemeflatam. So I think featured page number 8, if I'm not mistaken. It was printed in 1938. This teaching, Melamed Shekolim Ha'achdut V'Shlom K'neged Kol Mitzvot Sheb'Torah, talking about the importance of mitzvot. This was featured in the Mizrach magazine, I think printed in Tel Aviv in the year 1938. Then another teaching of his, Melamed Mara Kedushat Sefer Tislit Ma'az Nachit B'Morocco. This is actually, I think, coming from Parshat Hazina, if I'm not mistaken, from the 82nd page, another teaching of his. I think maybe it was discovered in the year 2016. One more, let's do one last teaching of his from the book. Melamed She'am Ha'amim Lo Yistapek B'nezid Adashim Shel Modra Nitzea. I think it's actually featured in Mizrach Iton magazine, a newspaper, in Tel Aviv once again, I think printed the 8th of Av, on the 5th of August 1938. So very interesting. So he leave us with many teachings, Torah work, and was a great rabbi. This time we get to light candles in memory here on Rosh Chodesh Tammuz. Wish you all a great day and thanks.